Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Since I'm just starting to get back into the swing of things, I thought what better video to do than like a get to know me tag type video, except I changed up the questions and related them more to personal finance and entrepreneurship, of course, because that's what I talk about here on this channel. Question one is, what is my full name and what's its meaning? So all I'm going to tell you guys is that my name is Katrice Justice. I don't really know what they mean, but I can talk about the significance of justice. So my mom originally wanted to make my first name Justice, but my grandma was apparently against that. And then she said, why not name her Katrice? So that's how Katrice Justice came to be. Question two is, what is your hometown? My hometown is Ottawa, Ontario. This is where I pretty much grew up, minus the about 3 years that I was in university in Toronto. And then last year I bought my first property here in Ottawa, so I'll be here for a little while longer, most likely. Question three is, what was a turning point in your financial journey? I would say that a big turning point in my financial journey was definitely once I turned 18 and I was in university. I remember there was one time where I needed to buy like an outfit, more like a business outfit. So I was in business school and I needed to buy like a business suit because I was going to like a formal business event. And long story short, that ended up costing me a couple $100s. This was first year university, so I wasn't even working at that time. I was planning to just kind of like do school only, not work kind of thing. And I remember talking to my mom like, oh, like how am I gonna afford this? She was like, oh, go ahead and just put it on your credit card, it'll be fine. And then she was like, oh, I'll pay for it. Then the credit card statement, whatever, comes out and I'm like, okay, like, are we paying for it now? And she was like, oh, I can't do that right now. And me, I was so paranoid about like credit cards and like being late payments and da 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 da. So I was like, damn. Luckily I had some savings, so I just pulled the money out of my savings and put it towards then. But after that I was like, okay, like I never want to be in a position to like feel like I can't afford something type thing again. So after that, or literally that night, I remember applying to jobs, and then a couple weeks later I got a job that was at one of the telecom companies and I was making commission and stuff like that. And pretty much ever since then I've just been working and just making sure I don't end up in a situation where I feel like I can't pay for a credit card or whatever, and just, yeah. The next question is, what is my favorite aspect of entrepreneurship? So I just like having the kind of creative freedom to be able to, you know, create the content that I want. And also I feel like my number one favorite thing about entrepreneurship is that there's no cap on how much you can make. So I do still have a 9-to-5, but I'm getting X salary and that's about it, unless there's a little overtime here and there. Versus entrepreneurship, if I'm like, okay, I want to make 10K, I can kind of work backwards and say, okay, I need to sell X amount of X product to, you know, make that 10K, and there's no like maximum that I can make. The next question is, what was my first entrepreneurial venture? So I would say that my first official kind of like solo entrepreneurial venture was when I started my own photography and videography business back when I was about 14 years old. I would say that really contributed to me just wanting freedom, because I really liked that back then I didn't have to, you know, sacrifice going out with friends on like a weeknight or a Saturday night or whatever because I had work. I was able to just make my own schedule and manage my bookings. I would say in terms of challenges that I faced, of course, it was difficult being super young and into that stuff, but overall, the community was really supportive of that, so it went well. And to this day, people are still asking me, like, are you still into it? I'm not into it anymore, unfortunately. I'm more into like just talking about finance and educating people on finance. It's more my thing. That's where I'm passionate about. So yeah, I don't really dabble in that stuff anymore. So the next question is, describe your approach to investing. So I have different approaches across different, you know, aspects of investing. So starting with stocks, of course I have a long-term focus right now, and pretty much my overall strategy is just buy and hold. I'm really just buying up for the long term right now and holding and just gonna ride the waves for the next 20, 30, however many years. As for real estate, I also have a long-term perspective with that. If you watched my first original video where I talk about how I bought my first house at 22, I explained how we actually sold my grandmother's property that she owned for I think 30 or 40 years, and the price difference between what she bought it for versus what she sold it for was just mind-blowing. So yeah, I just want to keep my real estate for the long term. I don't have plans to buy additional properties right now. So yeah, but overall my strategy for that is also just hold for long term. The next question is, what are some of your personal finance milestones? So of course, the house is going to be a big milestone for me. I'd also say paying off a large portion of my student loans is another milestone for me, although I do still have student loans, but it's all interest free. So I don't personally care about that at the moment. And yeah, I hope to pay off my car by the end of this year or early next year. Okay, so then the last question that I'm going to answer today is, describe a major challenge you faced as an entrepreneur and how you overcame it. So I would say I'm going through a big struggle right now, honestly, and it's just not having enough time to do everything and learning how to outsource and how to delegate. So like I was saying earlier, I still have my whole 9-to-5 type job, and then I'm also trying to balance this entrepreneurship venture that I've started while also trying to help other people with their businesses at the same time. So it's just become a lot, which is why sometimes I disappear from YouTube only, sorry. But yeah, so I think that's one of the challenges that I'm still learning to overcome, and I definitely want to work hard in the fall to kind of just get systems in place so that I can have more of a balanced year and not just be disappearing over the summer because I'm too busy with other things. So I hope you learned a little something new about me through this video. If you have any other questions, make sure to leave them in the comments below. Of course, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more personal finance and entrepreneurship content. Thank you for watching.